I say it's a phenomenal story because everything came together that night. It was the perfect storm from all the units and all the people that assisted in this fire. Let me just say that during this event, we had 3 dead victims when we pulled them out. And it is just phenomenal. It's a miracle by any other name that we, the fire department, the police department, and the dispatchers and everybody that helped in this event came together in bringing these young people back to life. And one of them is here with us today. So it's just amazing. It's quite a story. On that evening, late evening, at 11:24 p.m. on June 29th, the Phoenix Dispatch Alarm Room received a call from Brooklyn, the young lady here to my left, that there was a fire in the condo and they couldn't get out. And so the dispatcher stayed on the phone with her and dispatched a first alarm fire, was knowledgeable enough to know the gravity of the call and that there was 3 victims trapped inside the fire and that you needed essentially a lot of resource. Shortly after, the dispatcher also sent a first alarm medical call that sent out a lot of paramedic units and ambulance units to the scene also. So as that progressed, we had PD stopping traffic for us, which shaved off some seconds off of our response. The first engine company, which was a Peoria engine company, 194, arrived there within 5 minutes of the call that Brooklyn called into the dispatch. They right away started laying what we say fire lines and started to fight the fire to the condo to the east of where the victims were. It was very difficult to know exactly where they were. The addresses were very hidden, and you had 2 condos were pretty much fully involved. For all practical purposes, if we would not have had victims inside one of the condos, it would have been a defensive fire for us. In other words, we would have fought it from the outside, or we would have not risked any of our personnel to go inside the burning buildings. So you had 2 condos on fires. The first unit went to the condo just east of where the victims were. The second one and third one that arrived there pretty much simultaneously was a unit from Glendale and a unit from Peoria, which was a station that Captain Morris is from. And they entered the burning building with extreme circumstances of a lot of fire that met them at the patio and before even going into the structure. And so once they entered in there, they had quite a fight in front of them, and they fought through the fire and then had to locate the victims that were in the bathroom. They removed the victims, took them outside, and at that point, by all legal and medical purposes, they were dead. They had no pulse and were not breathing. At that point, some of the medics started CPR. Some of the police officers from Peoria also assisted with the CPR, followed by the paramedics extending their advanced life support procedures on the victims, intubating them, starting IVs, starting all the medications to bring the heart back, and worked them all the way into the hospital where the doctors and nurses continued and were able to revive them. And 2 of the patients were transported via helicopter over to the burn center over at Maricopa County Hospital, where they continued to progress and do well. I'm happy and pretty amazed and proud of the Peoria folks, along with 5 other cities that assisted in this rescue.
When we located and saw the victims inside, firefighter Bo Taylor and Aaron Moore were instructed to grab the patient. We brought her outside, and for all intents and purposes, she was a full code. Notified command that we had 3 patients. We were bringing one of them out at this time. Engine 54 from Phoenix grabbed the second patient as they were all lined up together in the bathroom where we found them. Brought out the second patient. He was a full code. That's when PD started doing CPR on him. Peoria guys were doing CPR on Brooklyn, and then another engine company that came in behind us pulled the third victim out, and she was a full code at the same time. While we were pulling them out, there was fire all around all of the fellas, and to do it over again, I wouldn't have changed anything. You know, I know a lot of times we Monday morning quarterback all the fires or the incidents we go on. For some reason, this one came together like clockwork. Every engine company, every ladder company, every ambulance and the police department, everything clicked. And, you know, we train every day for this. We go out and lay hose when it's 110 degrees out, and people go, wow, it's hot. You know what? That's why we do it, for those occasions. And it's a miracle that they all survived. I thank God every day for it. I'm just happy I'm able to be here to do this. You know, it very easily could have gone the other direction, and we didn't know it was Tim's daughter till after they were already transported. And we do it for any citizen at any time, and it just hits really home when it's one of your own guys' daughters.
The survival rate is very slim, and for us to have gotten in there and save 3 of them is just phenomenal. It's a miracle by any other name, as I said before. And because if you looked inside the fire, the door to the bathroom had already burned the exterior sheeting and was already burning through the internal sheet of the door. So it was just about to burn through, and it was just a matter of seconds that fire would have gone through and burned the victims, and there would have been no chance of survival at that point. So if any one item or unit would have done something just a little bit differently, a few seconds later would have meant non-survival for these victims. So it's a tribute to that.
And all of a sudden, from my room, I have an Arcadia door right there, and it went from being completely pitch black to glowing orange. And I said to him, "What is that?" I didn't register at first, but I ran through all the possibilities really quickly in my mind, and I realized that there were all these boxes out on the patio, and it must have been that there's probably a fire out there. So I screamed fire. I threw on some clothes because I was planning on just getting all of us out. I was assuming we were just gonna run out the front door and, you know, escape. So I ran to my friend's room, banged on her door, told her we need to get out. Me, her, and my boyfriend were all in the living room, and I opened the front door, and the heat that came in was just incredible. I've never experienced something that hot living in Arizona my whole life, and it was really, really hot, and I couldn't see through to the other side. It was a complete firewall. We were not going to be able to get out. So at that moment, before I had even closed the door, I was already calling 911 on my cell phone and told them my address and that there was a fire and that we were not going to be able to get out. All of the entrances to our condo faced the same way, and since the fire was on the patio, we were unable to get out of there. So we went ahead and went to my back bathroom, and the 911 dispatcher instructed us to put towels under the door. So my boyfriend was doing that. I was yelling out commands to tell each person what to do. And I knew from being the daughter of a firefighter that we needed to stay low and have towels over our mouths and stuff so we didn't have to be breathing in all of the soot and toxins. So I told the instructor anything I could, the dispatcher, everything I could, how old we were, where we were exactly, and trying to give them good instructions to get to us in the fire. And at that point, it became really hard to breathe, and I felt as though I needed to hang up with the operator and call my mom because I wanted to tell her that I loved her one last time because I didn't know if I was going to make it. So I told the dispatcher told me to stay on the phone, and I said, I'm sorry, I really can't. I gotta call my mom. So I hung up with the dispatcher, and I called her, and it was really hard to breathe at that point. But all I could tell her is that I can't breathe. I just want you to know that I love you, and I think I'm gonna die. And then a few seconds later, I was out. I don't remember anything after that except for somebody told me I was going to be okay. And then about 8 hours later, I woke up in the hospital and was able to write notes and tell them exactly what happened and what was going on, and ask them about my friends and my boyfriend and making sure that we were all okay. And about 12 hours later, I was extubated and was able to, the first words I got to tell my parents was that I loved them, and was able to talk and, walk and breathe and do all that stuff again.
Since they were little, I've gone to their classrooms, taught fire safety, how to stop, drop, and roll, get down low and smoke, how to remain calm in an emergency, knowing your address, knowing when to call 911, just all that stuff I've been teaching them over the years. And to me it was fun because my kids, they were little and they thought it was a great time, and all the kids were in the classroom maturing, and it was a great time. And I always just thought that it would be great if it saved someone's life someday. And little did I know it'd be my own daughter's life. But I'm grateful, and I couldn't teach wit and smart and quick thinking. She just has it in her, and I knew that when this was going on, when I was trying to go to her, when I heard about when she called us, I was praying to God that she would use all her wit and her survival skills to fight and to live, and I know that she did. If she didn't, it's just like the chief said, if one of those things didn't come together, including Brooklyn thinking so fast, she wouldn't have been here, and this would have been different mindset for me. But yeah, that's how, it's just one of those things that we do. We teach our kids how to be safe, and I myself just go a little overboard sometimes, but I'm glad I did. They could be upset at me, but that's okay. I'm glad she's here, and I thank God every day that she is here. And I'm really grateful that Peoria and all the guys here and police and every city that was involved that came together to save my daughter's life. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I am so grateful, and I know what it means when people come to me when I'm out on duty shopping, and they say, hey, thank you guys for what you do. And to me it's just a job, and I love what I do. But now I know what it feels like to be on the other side, and I am eternally grateful for everybody. I just can't express it in the words. It's just say thank you to everybody.
We never know if it's going to be our own. In this case, our firefighters, and Billy Morris, the captain that went in, had no clue that the victims he was going to go in there and save were related to any of the firefighters, that it was one of our own. So that gives us an inspiration to even give a better service, a better customer service delivery within the valley here. So I thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it very much.